What is going on, everybody? My name is Frankie Candles, and in today's video, I want to give you guys a really simple tutorial on my favorite indicator, and that is market Cypher B. But before we get into it, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and click that notification bell. And if you're not following my channel, Frankie Candles, definitely head over to the description and click that link and go follow for some of the best sauce you'll ever have. So guys, here we are on the Bitcoin weekly chart, and obviously there are no indicators here. So let's go ahead and bring up market Cypher B. Now I do want to point out this is just one piece of the multiple tools that come within the market Cypher trading suite. And this is specifically market Cypher B. They also have market Cypher A, which gives you signals on top of your candlesticks. Obviously, market Cypher B is your oscillator, which really crams a bunch of different indicators into one and makes it super easy to read. That's why I love it. But they also have the DBSI, which gives you strength represented by numbers on the top or bottom of your candle. So for instance, the higher number would be the stronger number that pushes price in the opposite direction. So if you have a 16 on the top versus a -5, that strong 16 is going to step on that -5 and push right down. But in this video, guys, I'm not going to cover every single aspect of market Cypher. I'm going to focus on market Cypher B, as that is the main tool that I really use for my analysis. So as we dive in here, guys, I'm going to pull this up full screen and just break down all the different aspects of this indicator. So guys, I've removed everything except for the momentum waves, and this part of the indicator represents, well, momentum. And I mainly use this to find my divergences. And if you guys don't know what a divergence is, I will briefly explain it at the end of the video to show you guys how I actually use market Cypher to enter trades. But for the most part, guys, if we pull back up our chart here, momentum waves generally just represent where momentum is headed. And this is basically the main part of the indicator. What I like to do when looking at momentum is just look at general direction. So you could see we have our zero line right in the middle of these two waves. So you could see right here, this is the zero line, and then you have waves above the zero line and below the zero line. And when you're looking at this, you would generally want to see momentum either heading to the upside or heading to the downside. And you basically want to be looking at multiple waves. So you can see here, if you were to connect the peaks of these momentum waves, you can generally see that momentum is heading out. Right? And then on the opposite end of that, you could see right here, your momentum is generally trending to the upside. So when you see momentum waves making higher lows and generally trending towards the upside, you would anticipate a potential move on price in that direction. And you can see here, the momentum waves on the bottom of market Cypher B were trending up, and you could even connect a dot all the way back here. But generally, your momentum is making higher lows, indicating price may continue to trend to the upside. And you can see right here, right on that last momentum wave, you wound up getting a pretty big move up in the bull run of 2021. And then very similarly, you can see that your momentum is starting to creep out here as we peaked out in March of 2021 on our first top of the bull run. You can see these momentum waves. We were making higher highs, meaning that we may be able to continue to the upside, which we wound up doing. But then once you start putting in these lower highs, this is showing you that momentum is coming to the downside. That would make you anticipate a move down on your price action, and then boom, you get that move down. And then you come down for a little momentum wave. You just have one little wave down here before printing a green dot and coming back to the upside. And if you're looking at this all in one big range of price action, you can notice that your momentum is generally making lower highs, which at this top, you would be looking at your price action and saying to yourself, well, hey, price came back up, but we are peaking out here with this momentum wave, and it is a lower high from this wave back here, and that would mean that momentum is generally trending to the downside. So you would expect a move down, and that is exactly what you get. Now, like I said, one of the main things that I look for on the momentum waves is I basically use these to find my divergences, which is one of the main signals that I use to enter and exit trades. And you can use this on any time frame. Just remember that the signals on the higher time frames are likely going to be a bit stronger than the ones on the lower time frames. And if you guys stick around till the end of the video, I'm going to talk about how you could have used market Cypher B to realize that this was actually going to be a big top, and what the warning signs on market Cypher B were that we were going to get this big move down, which wound up being the bear market of this year and last year. You'll also notice we have red and green dots here, guys. Simply put, you can think of these as buy and sell signals, but I want to be very clear. You do not just want to trade based off these red and green dots, because you have situations like this where it gets a little bit choppy and you start printing red dot, green dot, red dot, green dot, and you would just get chopped up and wrecked when you're just trading based off those signals, but they can help you find bottoms and tops. You just want to realize that you don't want to trade solely based off these signals. You want to incorporate them with other things, because again, you do play that red dot, green dot sometimes. Right here, if you just shorted that red dot, you would have gotten absolutely roasted. So you definitely want to use other forms of TA as well, and you want to confirm these red dots with other stuff, but they are useful, and again, I'll show you why at the end of the video when I show you kind of how you could have sniped this as the top of the bull market. So, as you guys know, if you watch this channel or the Frankie Candles YouTube channel, you will know that money flow is one of the biggest things that I look at, and the reason for that is because it's extremely reliable. Basically, money flow indicates money entering or leaving the asset, but it also indicates the longer term trend. So if you are looking for, a lot of people were expecting the bull market to begin around this area, as that is near where the halving was happening. And the fact that we crossed over into the green with our money flow on a time frame like the weekly, which is a very high time frame. So remember, the higher the time frame, the stronger the signal. This crossover into the green would indicate a potential long-term uptrend beginning. And you can see here again, guys, not all indicators and not all TA is going to be 100% right, so you want to use other forms of TA so you don't wind up getting false signals or anything like that. But you can see you get that money flow crossover into the green, and we did get a little move up before getting, a black swan event, which nobody can predict. That was March of 2020. I think you guys know what was going on there. Other than that unpredictable dump to the downside, this money flow remained in the green, and what happened after that money flow? Generally, we started a massive uptrend. So to keep things short and simple, money flow indicates the longer term trend, and you can also see this as money comes in, enters the asset, price comes up, you go into a big green wave, right? And then as you come here to make your second peak, you make multiple lower highs on your money flow wave, and this would indicate, well, hey, what I like to do is draw a trend line. Well, hey, if this is generally trending to the downside, it might be time for price to get a cool off. And you can see as money flow continued to trend out here, we started to bleed to the downside, right? And then you get the crossover into the red right about here. And well, that was essentially the beginning of this massive bear market. Some people say that the news moves the price. I say, show me the chart and I'll tell you the news, right? So that is basically money flow there, guys. Just remember, money flow indicates the longer term trend. Well, you might be asking yourself, if money flow indicates the longer term trend, what indicates those tiny little ebbs and flows in the market, right? What makes the noise in the market, right? And that would be on market Cypher B, the VWAP. So let me go ahead and turn that VWAP on. And the VWAP is this yellow wave, which also oscillates and crosses below and above the zero line. And how I like to explain this is money flow indicates the long-term trend, and the VWAP indicates the noise in the market, right? So you have long-term trend, but then you also have a lot of noise, right? A lot of noise. You go up and down, but it's a general trend to the upside. Just like on the downtrend, you don't just go straight down in a straight line. You actually come down. You go up, down, 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 right? So that's what I consider the noise in the market. Granted, overall, the money flow was crossing into the red, and that was a long-term trend to the downside. So money flow indicates trends like this, and the VWAP indicates noise like this, the internal structure, some people would call it, right? So if we zoom in here, I'll actually give you guys a better idea. I'm going to put a vertical line on all these significant VWAP crossovers. We have one right here where we cross to the upside. We have one right here where we cross to the upside. We have one right here where we cross to the downside, crossed back to the upside, back to the downside, back to the upside, and back to the downside. So if you look here, you can see VWAP crosses above the 0 line, little move up, right? Not a long-term trend up, but just a little pop to the upside. Then your VWAP crosses below the 0 line, and you get a little push below. And then another push above, and another push up. And you can see how these VWAP crossovers, you get another cross to the downside right here, move down, cross up, move up. This basically mirrors the price action as it goes up and down. And I use the VWAP to actually get into my entries, because if you're trying to snipe an entry on something like, say, the 24-minute, you may not want to enter a long position. You might be looking for a long here, but you might not want to enter when the VWAP is above the 0 line, because it's likely to cross below again and give you a short-term move up. So typically what I like to do is wait for the VWAP to be below the 0 line and enter while the VWAP is going to cross up. That way I can snipe that bottom and get in at the low and ride it to the top for some nice profit. And again, you could start to see when you start to combine this stuff with not only the green dots, but also money flow trending up, you can see that you can kind of go through a checklist of multiple confirmations to enter a trade. And again, you don't just want to go off one indicator, but you can see you don't just want to trade the green dots. You want to take the green dots, the money flow, and the VWAP, as well as the momentum waves to get good entries. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on a couple more things on the indicator and just run through what they are. The one thing I'm not going to cover here is the RSI. I'm going to leave that for another video. I also have some information on my channel about that if you guys want to check the Frankie Candles channel out. But I'm going to skip that for now because I want to keep this video brief, but I'm going to turn some more stuff on and kind of show you guys how I actually personally use Market Cipher to get into some really good trades. And I'll even show you a recent trade that we got into with my premium Discord, and it wound up playing out great. So I have everything turned on the indicator right now other than the RSI. Like I said, I'll go over that in another video, or you can check out my channel for that. Everything else we have here, guys, is pretty simple, right? These red and green bars essentially just show you where money flow is crossing up into the green or down into the red. It's just a nice little easy line to represent that. If you're looking at the momentum waves, you could even just turn this off if you wanted to. And then you have your negative 60 line and your positive 60 line here. And that basically is when you're looking at the momentum waves, you could think of when you get below that negative 60 line, you could think of price as oversold. You could see that was indicating that we were finding a bottom here before reversing, right? And then when you are above that zero line with your momentum waves, you can see that it typically means you're overbought and you're likely going to start a trend to the downside. And now you can start to see how, if you understand how to use this stuff in the right way, how it could be extremely profitable. So I'm actually going to talk to you guys about this recent trade and how I use Market Cipher to actually enter trades so I don't bore you with a 2-hour and 16-minute video. So what I'm going to do here, guys, is just show you. I'm not going to use too much TA on the candlesticks just because I want to focus on Market Cipher here. As you can see here, guys, I'm down all the way on the 7-minute time frame. Now, I don't recommend trading low time frames like that if you're a beginner, but this is where the setup was with my premium Discord. So I do just want to talk about these lower time frames. But to enter this setup that I put in my premium Discord, you kind of had to hit these lower time frames to find the entry, but you can apply the same technique to any time frame. If you're a beginner, I would recommend start paper trading. Don't even use your own real money at first. I would sign up for a demo account, paper trade a little bit with Play Money, learn a technique, back test it a bunch of times, and then fund a trading account with real money. After you get the hang of how to read the charts, and once you find a profitable strategy, you don't just want to go jumping into this stuff willy-nilly. You're very likely to lose a ton of money. But if you take a look here, you can see here we did get a pretty big move to the downside. However, we did actually have a pretty strong level of support down here, and we were waiting for a break of this level to come down and potentially get a bounce off a specific level. I won't go into details, but we were expecting a bounce in this area. And we used Market Cipher as well as other tools to confirm, but we used Market Cipher, and what we were looking for were bullish divergences as well as money flow coming up to enter the trade and get a move back into this range and potentially move all the way to the top, which you can see wound up happening. As we approach this level of support, we were looking for a break and a dump to enter our trade. And as you can see, if I connect these lows, we obviously have lower lows on our price action as well as higher lows on our momentum waves. You can see this wave is a little lower than this wave, but generally we do have a low and a higher low, creating what I like to call is a pinch point. If you extend these lines out, they would eventually intersect. This is a bullish divergence. And not only that, but you also have your money flow curving to the upside. We had other confirmations here, but this is generally what I like to look for as price approaches support. I look for lower lows on price with our momentum waves coming up as well as our money flow. That is a very important thing. You need the money flow to come up as well. And then this is where you would go ahead and enter your long position, targeting the highs of the range. And obviously, you can see you put your stop loss somewhere below this wick. And then you're looking to ride this up to the top of the range. And you can see it did take you for a little bit of a ride, but you did wind up hitting that take profit for a nice little 3.1% gain. Not too bad for a little 3% gain in just one day, especially if you're trading with leverage like I do. But I do want to warn you guys, I wouldn't recommend any beginners jump into leverage trading. You want to master trading before you start adding leverage, but not a bad day trade at all. But there you go. There is a quick little example, and you can see these bullish divergences happen very often. And a lot of the time, guys, they do wind up giving you moves to the upside. You can see not only did you have lower lows on your price into your level of support, but you also had higher lows on your momentum waves with money flow coming up. And right there, you get another nice little move to the upside. Didn't make it all the way to the high of the range, but nonetheless, definitely a profitable move. And a really good example of this actually lies on the weekly chart, guys. And it's actually at the top of the 2021 bull market. You can see we had higher highs on our price action at this second peak in price. And what did we have on Market Cypher B? Well, we had lower highs on our momentum waves, which is actually a bearish divergence, and that makes what I like to call an alligator mouth. And not only that, but you also had your money flow generally trending to the downside, letting you know that this may be a significant top, and it actually wound up being the top of the bull market and the beginning of the bear market. So, guys, that's a quick, brief overview of Market Cypher B. Now, like I said, I didn't pull everything up on there like the RSIs. I didn't want to get too advanced with this first tutorial, but as you guys can see, we went over money flow, which indicates the longer-term trend. We went over the VWAP, which indicates the little micro noise in the market within a bigger trend, and then the momentum waves, which can help you identify divergences, which typically signal when to get in or out of a trade. So I hope you guys found this useful. Next time I pop up on the BitBoy Crypto morning stream and I look at Market Cipher, maybe you guys will be in the chat letting me know what the price is going to do. And if you guys want to check out my channel, Frankie Candles, where I go live every single day and I put out a ton of educational trading content to help regular people become profitable traders, you can go ahead and check the link in the description down below or go to frankiecandles.com where we have our YouTube channel and all of our resources linked. So go check that out. And with all that being said, it's all the time I got for this video. See you in the next one. Frankie Candles out.